This is Umar for BoxNation. We're in Belfast. I'm joined by Dave Coldwell. He's had a very good night, and this interview with Steven Cairns and yourself would have been out already by the time people are watching this, so we won't talk about it too much, but yeah, just pleased with that tonight.
Over the moon. As a coach, you want your fighters to do what we do in the gym and to go out there and put it into practice. And that's what I said to him. I said basically, his spars have been fantastic, but you've got big 16-ounce gloves on. I said, I just want you to throw and to do the exact same, but with 8 ounce. Don't try and hit any harder because you've got 8-ounce gloves on. Go on there and just use your brain. And as we started round one, I told him what to do, just talking to him, and he listened, and he got a result that we wanted. It was that's what you want as a coach, somebody to listen and to do everything and be disciplined, and that's what he is. He's a young kid with so much potential.
Absolutely. Right, I'm sure you've seen this clip, but I just want you to react to it on camera.
Oh, seen it. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I like it. You want to see people how they are and how they react to things naturally, rather than hold themselves in and being, all media savvy, hold themselves back because they're worried about how they're going to look. If that's how you feel in that moment, that's how you're feeling, and that was an edge to him, and I think that kind of AJ is who he is really. Obviously Dubois poked the bear, and it's reacted, and I think Dubois is very, very confident in himself right now, and he feels that he doesn't need to be buoyed up. He doesn't feel that anyone can buoy him up right now, and that's why he's probably been, chest out and saying what he's saying, and that's why it's probably got under AJ's skin, because AJ's been the man and has watched Dubois coming through, and now Dubois has seen himself not just on that level. Dubois has seen himself that he's going to knock AJ out and ruin AJ's plans, and it's like, who's this cheeky pup thinking he is? Do you know what I mean? That's how it is.
I've heard some people talk about this fight and say within 2 or 3 rounds they believe Joshua takes Daniel out. I'm guessing they're going off the Hrgović fight and some of the big shots Daniel was taking off that. If you take that against Anthony, it's a different story. How do you read it?
It's heavyweight boxing, so it could well be. You've got to understand it, and it could well be the other way around, because he could walk on. Remember Lennox Lewis going out trying to, just sling everything at Oliver McCall, and get him out quickly, and he walked onto a shot and got done. AJ Ruiz, this happens in boxing, but I will say that against Miller and against Hrgović, Dubois shown how tough he is, and how mentally he's tough now, and he's got that dog in him. But he also showed how easy he is to hit. And Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgović aren't the same kind of fighter as what Anthony Joshua is. Hrgović was very, very predictable, really predictable. Yes, he's got a great snappy 1-2, but that was it. The same shot, very pretty. And they were all landing, so many. And it was great for us as neutrals to watch, because thinking, oh, what a fight. Oh, his toughness, and he kept coming up. But Joshua's not just going to throw a 1-2, a basic 1-2. If he starts landing that 1-2, if he's taking an AJ right hand, he's going to come back with that left up. He's going to come back with an uppercut. He's going to come back with another attack, because that's what Anthony Joshua is. He's a very, very good combination puncher.
So what does Dubois have to do if you were in his corner? If you were Don Charles, what do you have to do?
Listen, Don Charles is doing a fantastic job on him, and he's not an idiot. And Dubois, Dubois knows he's got to take that right hand away. He's got to be a little bit more savvy while still putting that pressure on, and while still, Dubois got a good jab himself.
Very good jab, yeah.
A very good jab, heavy jab as well. Dubois can box. This is a good fight, and I don't mind it. I'm excited about this fight, because there's, AJ's looked fantastic in his last 2 fights. But his last 2 opponents have been, what level have they been? So you have to be realistic without digging out Joshua and pissing anyone off. You've got to be realistic. He's looked unbelievable, but the level of opposition for somebody like Anthony Joshua should be looking unbelievable against. And Ngannou, that right hand I believe would knock out any heavyweight out there. The right hand that landed was against Ngannou. But Ngannou's rawness, noviceness, and just lack of fundamental boxing skills gave him that right hand so early, you know. Dubois, Dubois got weeks and weeks to prepare for Joshua to look to try and take that right hand away. But we all knew going into the Hrgović fight, Hrgović has got a good right hand, so I'm sure they'll have probably prepared to try and take Hrgovic's right hand away as well. It's not like Hrgović isn't a right hand, doesn't have a good right hand.
Can he only fight one way, Daniel?
Maybe so. And this is what we're going to find out. And that's where, again, without digging out Dubois, it's like you knew going into the Hrgović fight that he's got a good right hand. So surely you're prepared to take away that right hand. But how many right hands did he get hit with? So it doesn't matter how much time he spent preparing to take that right hand away. He didn't just take a few right hands. He took a hell of a lot. So is the same thing going to happen with Anthony Joshua, preparing to try and take the right hand away, but he just keeps getting it with it?
Maybe Daniel should go for broke early.
Maybe so. I think he probably will. I think he'll want to target Joshua's body. He'll want to turn it into a fight. I think he's got this in him where now he fully believes in himself.
He's actually a good body punch as well, Daniel.
He is a good body puncher, yeah. And so that's why I think that he'll want to target that. And because it doesn't matter how good Joshua's been looking and like I said, levels of opponents, when you start getting whacked about to the body, when you're big lump like that, it does tend to gas you a little bit. It does tend to make you a little bit more lethargic with your own punches and probably leave more gaps. So maybe that's what they tend, that's what they prepare to go for. But it's a good fight. I don't mind it. I think it's an exciting fight, and it's two British heavyweights at Wembley Stadium. It's going to be for a world heavyweight title. What is there not to like?
Doesn't really get better than that.
No.
Two big punches,
no.
two specimens.
And two exciting punches.
Yeah.
It's not like you've got somebody that'll just fiddle about but has some power. It's two guys that go out there looking to knock people out. That's what we want to see, and that's what we're going to get.
Just lastly, everyone in boxing talks. You've been on the circuit for God knows how long, Dave. I'm not trying to say anything, but
well, I'm old.
No, you're still a young man, but you've been experienced in this sport for a while, Dave. Trainers talk, everyone talks. This thing about Daniel and sparring and just the power he carries. Every heavyweight I speak to is saying his power is like really thudding, and they've not felt power like that before. What have you heard from people about Daniel's power?
Exactly that Daniel Dubois can really, really punch.
Have you seen him spar live?
No, I've never seen him spar live. So I can't say I was wowed by it. But then again, I've never seen AJ spar.
Have you not?
I've seen him fight. I've seen Dubois fight. It's different. But sparring, I will say that about everybody and anybody. There's been so many sparring stories about over the years where A just absolutely beats B up in sparring and he has it all his own way. Then they end up fighting down the line and B wins. Sparring, it's different.
Well, look at what happened with Hrgović and Dubois.
Well, there you go. And Hrgović made a play for that in the face-to-face, I think it was.
Absolutely, he did, yeah.
He was convinced because, whatever had happened between them was major enough to feel as though it wasn't going to be any kind of threat. You can't take anything from sparring. Listen, Anthony Joshua can punch, we know that, and Daniel Dubois can punch, and they both know that the other man can punch. They both know that they both got power themselves, but they both know that the other man can punch as well. So they're gonna be respectful, no matter the build-up, no matter the bad blood or whatever from now until fight night. They're gonna respect each other as fighters, as warriors, and as punchers. So I expect the best out of them both. Anything can happen because it's heavyweight boxing, but on pedigree, on tools that the fighters have shown so far, I'd have to say that Joshua would beat Daniel Dubois. So
there you have it. Okay. Well, I know certainly Steven Cairns showed tonight that he can punch, and we look forward to seeing him back in the ring soon. So congratulations on that, Dave, and
Thank you, mate.
I'll let you go. Top man.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.